for game number 2 here of day 5 of the finals day, and I think OG needs some help. That's why I got myself 3 OG fans. First, I just want to know, why are you a fan of OG?
Like, they're the most fun to watch. They're super nice guys, and their team is built on friendship, the power of friendship.
When did you know you were an OG fan?
I think OG were looking a little beat up after Fly left, and that's when I thought, I'm going to commit to OG. I'm staying.
What do they need to do to win this next game?
They need Seb's amazing brain, and they just need a really interesting draft lineup. Give us some good stuff.
And now I always know, I've been up there, and you can definitely feel the energy from the crowd. I think they might need some love in there too.
Yeah, let's do it.
Can we get everybody on board? I know there's a lot of OG fans out there, right? Yes! OG, 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 OG. All right, Paul, back to you.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, plenty of OG fans down there. There's plenty of Gambit fans, I have to tell you as well. I saw some flags flying this morning with the star emblazoned on the back of them, so plenty of those fans inside the arena as well. They'll be hoping that their team go on a 9-game winning streak against OG, because that would confirm them as a place in the grand final against Team Secret. They're just 1 game away right now. Who can break, well, what can break the 8-game losing streak for OG against Gambit? A question we're going to post in the Has Fogged and Capitalist. Gents, what's it going to take? I mean, the fans there said they need something different in the draft and maybe a surprise, but we haven't seen many of that.
I don't think it's the draft. I really don't, because for the first 16 minutes of this game, they followed exactly the formula that Secret followed to take Gambit completely out of it in the series yesterday. When you look at, they took Afterlife completely out of the game in lane. Purge did a great job breaking that down. They took Immersion completely out of the game. Doom had 7 last hits at 6 minutes. Immersion was level 2 at 7 minutes. This is what Secret did. They said, okay, we know Dahak and Alpha Ninja can go crazy. We're going to take your 3 and 4 positions completely out of it. But again, I hate to sound like a broken record. When OG gets their big plan A taken away, when they encounter adversity like in that Roche fight, they haven't shown us this season that they can recover.
Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's not a good thing, considering that Alan told us earlier that OG need to win before 30 minutes, but that was the longest game they've played against Gambit of the 8.
Oh, how long ago?
I'm not sure that's a good stat, though. It was 41 minutes, 6 seconds. It was the longest game they've played of the 8.
Ah.
But I'm not sure that's a good thing, is it?
It's just it's so hard to really like feel about it, because those first 16 minutes just looked so damn good for OG, and everything just fell apart.
Are we replaying game 1?
They look like they wanted. I think they're probably
I mean, why not,
we did
right?
so well in the early game. Like,
why not?
Yeah.
We think we know what went wrong at mid-game. We can fix it.
I think it's also. I think the last pick is probably I think the Invoker is going to be the bigger change one, because I think Thompson, he did have like a good performance in the early game, but he fell off so hard. It's like the target priority became impossible.
Hold on, sorry. Production, could you not play us the draft from game 1? We need the new draft for game 2.
Well, the big thing that I wonder
exactly
though
the
here,
same, isn't it?
the big thing that I wonder here though is Gambit in game 1. Gambit banned the Venomancer with their 5th overall ban, not a hero that OG I think was looking at.
We were looking
I
at
wonder
the PA.
here if they take the PA away. Right.
Yeah, and they have banned the Viper this time around OG. Okay, so this is game 2.
I was worried, Paul. I really
It was a bit too similar, wasn't it? Now, first 6 bans, first 4 picks. So the first 10, in fact, the first 11 heroes, because we had Magnus as well last time, were exactly the same. But Viper this time round for OG.
Now they can still make this. Now it's like this Monkey King is not. You know, as Jarex last time, now can still be Thompson. I think that Viper. Sure, the matchup is fine for the Monkey King in the mid lane, but it's like the overall scheme of the game.
So the discussion here for Gambit is it on the PA ban now?
That seems like what they're talking about. They're like, you know, the Veno is the kryptonite for the Ursa. It makes your game just so damn difficult.
Yeah.
But are they even gonna pick it?
And on the side of OG, I really do think that they're gonna take away the Viper, and they're also gonna take away the Razor.
Razor as well. Yeah.
They ban the PA.
Which will leave Pugna out in the pool.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it also leaves the Veno. If OG.
Yeah, Veno on one side, Pugna on the other would be the preference.
I think so.
Ooh, what does ILTW play? What's left for him?
Yeah, not much.
Yeah, well, the top 3 are gone. The PA, the Troll, the Ember.
And
Weaver.
Oof.
Did Secret
He plays Weaver, right? like pretty
The jug is left.
Jug is the one that's left.
Jug is his next biggest,
Well,
and then
he's not gonna play
Terrorblade.
Jug into Ursa, right?
Yeah, that's the one
all
that's
he's got left
out.
right now in his top is Jug, Void, Terrorblade.
Yep.
It's limited.
Okay, they did take the Razor out, which I
Yeah.
think is really smart. And again, I thought they did a really good job taking advantage of that 10th overall pick last time, did OG with the
Brew moves
Invoker.
up.
I did the brew again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moved up a position. It was 4th pick last time for
And
them.
again, I don't think when you're OG, when you're both of these teams, obviously Gambit feels good about the fact they came back to win.
Gonna pick the same heroes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is the 5th Spirit they've played against OG in the last 7 games.
Well, this is one of the things that you started to wonder about after the series against Secret when they took Immersion's Nyx Assassin out of the game. Other than the, I believe, other than the Earth Spirit and the Nyx Assassin, Immersion has like 3 games on his next most pick hero.
Yeah.
Those are his first 2 heroes by a mile.
His Earth Spirit is by far his best hero. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. That and the Nyx. And then he's, he's in and out on the Tiny. He's also got Phoenix in there, the Shaman.
Nice.
Okay. So that's their switch up here.
Much faster. And
Much faster.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they can abuse that Roche.
Yeah. Now we're probably going to be looking at the 3 position here for Gambit for Afterlife.
Yeah.
I think the Doom loses some value here compared to the last game.
Do they want to pick the Visage?
Usually if they already have Ursa, they won't pick Visage because those are Dahak's heroes.
Yep.
But I think you could. We've seen Ursa be a very powerful 3 in this tournament. I just don't know how, I don't know if you ended up, how do you feel about the Ursa Lycan matchup if that's your plan to pressure OG's safe lane?
Again, OG's running a draft with like no disable. Just like the last one. They have the Boundless Strike and the Brewmaster.
Yeah, I don't know though. I don't really think that's what ended up hurting them in the last game.
I like Slardar and DK for Gambit. I'm looking
Slardar,
at like
I'm
a
down-
lot of the
I'm down
cores.
with
A lot of the
Slardar for
cores
sure.
right now don't like playing against Lycan. Because his mobility is a bit of a problem. And then for other heroes, it's all the summons that he brings. Like OD can deal with some of the mobility, but he really doesn't like the summons. Max movement speed.
What about Timbersaw right here?
I thought about
Yeah.
Timbersaw as well, but it's a good laning phase.
If they want
matchup,
it, they
but
pick it now because it's getting
Lycan's
banned.
really good at
It is-
ignoring it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
getting
that's
banned
true.
last for OG, isn't it?
I wonder if you, as Gambit, do you go like full skirmish and dip back for something like a CK or even an LC?
I do think it's worth it just for the laning phase, right? Like I think if you win laning phase against this OG lineup, then
Yeah. I also was thinking the CK. I was looking and I was like, it wasn't touched the last game though. That's what kind of made me think they're not going to pick it.
Yeah, they won both their games in the groups against OG with that CK.
You could also go like Beast or Tide. I actually kind of like that. Wow. Well, there's a reason
Yeah,
OG
there's another
banned
one.
it second phase.
Yeah, it's
Coddle.
another one.
They've got the Coddle with it. The beautiful combo. Not just that chakra, but your Stone Gaze with that Will-O-Wisp. You turn and you face the Dusa.
Now this is interesting though because it also begs the question of where are they going to play the Ursa? Because Medusa, they are biased toward Dahak on that hero. 10 and 5 over the last 2 patches versus only 3 and 0 for Alpha Ninja on the Dusa.
there's the other combo too. You get to level 15, 100% Mana Steel. Right? Double Mystic Snake.
Double Mystics, yep.
It's
call.
that talent is so stupid. I get so triggered by it.
Dire team back.
So do we think-
No, Tim, because they don't need to ban it this time. The Doom is banned instead.
Yeah. Well, they know the last pick has
Yeah.
to be an Afterlife hero now.
Look, it's really hard for them to, like, they have to commit pretty hard to get on top of this Dusa. And this is similar to the Viper, right? Where it's a distraction. Like, you have to go for this Dusa. It's not a distraction, but, like, you have to go for this Dusa. But at the same time, then you're putting yourself in a weird spot for these ultis.
The one thing though that does pivot quite a bit from the previous draft is this Monkey King pick is still open.
That's
And
true.
I think at the end of the last draft, they pivoted to the Invoker because they saw the Viper. Now you know that you're going up against Medusa mid. What do you think about MK versus Medusa?
You can dodge the snake, right?
Yeah.
Pretty easily with that.
I mean,
that
if
disarm
anybody can,
over
it's
and over
Thompson.
again. Yeah.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, we've seen a few Monkey Kings against Medusas, and they do get pushed back in lane.
It could also be an Invoker game again just because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asgard ban for
EMP.
Gambit. And their final pick would be a Pango.
That is sick.
Which they played in the 3rd game against OG.
That is,
Oh,
wow.
I forgot they actually played Pango.
I did
do
too.
play
I
Pango.
completely forgot about that hero, and I actually think it's so good here.
It's so obnoxious to play as Lycan. Even your all your summons get disarmed. Everything just gets disarmed from Lucky Shot.
That also produced a sigh from ILTW, and he threw his hands over the top of his head. Seb also looked a little bit uncomfortable after that pick as well.
I mean, there's such absurd team fight coming out on the side of Gambit now. They've got like multiple. They've got the 2 built-in silences now from the Earth Spirit as well as that Pango to lock down the Brewmaster a lot of the times.
What rescues this for OG? Anything?
Man, oh man, I worry so much. If you go back to Invoker, I just worry that Pango is going to completely disrupt the rhythm of your spell combos and fights. Yeah, he's the built-in magic immunity. I think you gotta live with Thompson on MK and come back with something for Jerax here. I don't know that Oracle is like, I don't know where Oracle changes this game, but feels like you gotta ask your best player to carry you.
You can, I think Lycan can do okay. I think Lycan actually does pretty well against Deuce mid.
I think so
really?
too. Yeah, I think you still find fine.
You could probably
Gives a
get
lot
it.
of regen.
Oh, all right.
It's another possibility that you could get a different side laner, like a PL.
But it's so you know, that's the one thing about OG though, is that they generally don't move Thompson out of mid. So do you live with Thompson on Lycan?
No, it's a weird game. Like they have to produce a lane that wins somewhere, and right now they don't have that.
I agree.
Well, they look flustered.
They did. I mean, that pick literally came out, and the 2 guys on the end were both surprised by it. That's not something they've game planned for.
They got a little bit of time yet to talk it over.
Yeah.
I think it has to be Thompson's hero. He's the one who's like talking a bunch.
Well, I think they're
One
still
of the
talking
mid-matchups
about.
that can do okay.
I mean, there's quite a lot.
Yeah. You go back to Thompson Ember?
That's banned first 3, man.
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
Those 2 heroes aren't.
Yeah, and the troll band.
You look back through his hero pool and it's
Tide.
Other than Invoker, it's Pugna, Drow.
The only hero I
Shadow
feel good about
Demons,
is
isn't it?
Invoker for
Me too.
if it's a mid hero.
Yeah.
You don't,
Like,
you
all
don't,
the
you
other
don't,
mids that
you
I
don't
looked
think
at, I
you don't
feel
think Monkey plays okay?
Hold on. Isn't the Timber good against
That's the other one.
That's the other one. All right.
But it's still not like a great game for Arc Warden. You have this long reach, like super long reach from both of your supports, as well as 2 different cores that get on top of. Like that's the specialty of Ursa and Pangolier, is that they close the distance really well with these heroes.
Yeah, Ursa gets into that bubble.
And Blinding Light, you don't have to get in the bubble. You just push him out of it.
That's true. That's
You just
true.
push him out of your own bubble like over and over again.
I think this Arc Warden, it's a neat idea, but I think it smacks of desperation. Thompson needs to crush his lane.
Yeah, it was that Pango cap definitely threw them off, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's a good Pango game. It's the part of the problem with picking up this Lycan and not knowing, like you give so much freedom to the offlane pick. There's I feel like that happens a lot right now, is that out of the certain meta heroes, once you start looking at other safe lane carries, the offlane just becomes so free.
Just so much team fight on Gambit too, and
There's
they've
a
got
lot of
this
team
Deuce
fight.
to rally around with the Coddle as well. Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
The one hope is Thompson goes his mega aggressive build. He might. I've seen him forego Midas on Arc Warden before and just rush like Shadowblade Orchid. He needs to do something like that in this game.
Okay, a lot of pressure on OG to deliver here, not least of which the fact that they find themselves a game down in the best of 3 against Gambit. Can they make it 9th time lucky? Let's find out.
You can look at the 9th time lucky, but I also look at the skill coming in from Gambit. Another great draft for team fighting. Strong lanes, strong everything. And OG, I hate to say it, Kyle, but you saw the face of Zeb nearing the end of that draft, and it looked like a man who was not in control of how this draft was going down.
Indeed. The Lycan pick, I think specifically, is the question mark for OG. Now, the Howl gives their their whole lineup the ability to potentially go high ground way earlier than anyone on the panel expected, especially if you have the Necro Book rush from Thompson's Arc Warden. But it's a scary game for ILTW. You're playing into so much AoE, stun, slow. It'll be near impossible for him to try and deal real damage in a team fight. So I think if you're OG, you're looking to accelerate the game state and just kill structures.
I think if you're OG, you're trying to make a wall of pigs. That's the way to keep Gambit out, right? But no, Ursa loves bacon. Wants to come in for his own fight, already getting hit by one of the Spark Wraiths. It's getting a little out of control, boys. Actually thinking about moving over for the runes. There's 4 heroes from OG looking to find the bottom lane. They'll let the Brumars have his own little fun up on top, battling for that rune. But where you let it the Howl off, looking for their own fight. Immersion, rolling boulder in. Jirax looking for the jump down as well. Able to claim on 3 heroes here. ILTW, thanks to that slow, has the movement speed away. The blast, it won't be enough. The healing sounded enough, so Tahak will be the first blood. Jirax, the man to claim it, just like game 1. OG trying to start with an aggressive tone.
Really well done. They needed something to get this started. They need another dominant early game performance. Imagine what last game would have looked like if OG didn't crush the lanes.
Are you still happy with where you're at though? Like, ILTW is licking his wounds on bottom lane. Notel has to have more of an influence he did last time. And Jirax, they're starting again on bottom, but no, the cut down. Immersion not wanting to let Jirax have his own fight. And because you went for the tree dance level 1 from Jirax, he doesn't have that Jingu to play with.
This tri-lane's gonna decide everything. I like OG's decision this game to ensure that they're up against the Ursa. You want to slow down the Hawk. He was the real game changer. Like Purge said, just the ability for him to have Midas blink on that Roche fight, like Gambit were suddenly in a position that they were ahead, and they just took that advantage and ran with it for the rest of the game. I don't think you give him the ability to just farm uncontested.
And this is now turned into a proper try-on-try lane. So the side lanes get to go one-on-one with the Seb versus the Pango on top lane, and then Thompson versus Afo in mid.
You got to be careful here. Jerax is pulling the easy camp, but you're going to have a double wave under tower now. Gambit, if they can pressure the Lycan, this could be good for them. But the thing is, if you can't pressure him, he just gets the last hit freely under tower. And it looks like that might be what happens. Lycan does not miss last hits either.
I think he's just doing this like they're going to get enough experience to get level 2 now over on Lycan. So he's able to get the Wolves up and running. Notel in a world of hurt, surrounded by Dahak and Immersion, cannot escape. Feeling very far out of position for a wave that was pulled back to the tier 1 tower. He'll begin his own TP in, Jirax. The jump down on top of Dahak, and Notel and Jirax trying to work together.
Yeah. But this, he went tree dance for that level 1 engagement, so no Jingu.
Yep.
He's not effective at trading with Ursa like he was in the previous game against Doom. He needs level 2, but as you've said, it's a tri-lane. Not much XP to go around.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, like they did the pullback so Lycan could hit the level 2. The reason why Notel had to back off so far. So Jirax can get the experience from the side camp as well, but he is level 2 now.
Yeah. And just based on Thompson rushing that second Wraith Band, I've got a feeling that OG is going to try and end this game very quickly. You go this raw stat build, much like he did on the Venge with the Necro Book.
Notel's bringing friends. Hellbear's there. They're going to find Dahak over in the tree lines. He's already got boots up, but here's that Jingu. The Wolves looking for the body block. He's out to hit up on 4 hits, which means now Dahak has to move back and away from Jirax. A little too scary, but there's no boundless strike, so there's no long stun from OG. This is rough if you're a Monkey King support looking for the harassment. That 1 point in tree dance kind of messed him up.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up, Toby.
But if he didn't get that first pop, would have gone the way of Gambit.
Indeed. It's all a trade-off, right? Even if you die, if you can blow Kulo FNG, man, you're in trouble. There's Nurse Creep behind him as well.
Yeah, he's really, really deep. Merchant's trying to cut through trees, the jump can't come in, but FNG knows he's just dead. Keeper of the Light backed into a corner, and it's a refusal at the gate for the horse.
It's so funny how the game has changed, where cores have learned to just accept their supports will die. Now, I've seen Ench and Coddle go down, while their cores are respectively just running around a creep they're about to last hit. Just no cares given.
I'm going to keep my eye on mid with the movement of Immersion. They want to try and catch out Thompson. Now, Thompson does the Fairy Fire, but he doesn't have any mana to really work with, so there's nothing that's really aggressive against Afo at the moment.
And Thompson has the Midas queued as well. He already bought the glove, so we can actually expect... once again, I am incorrect. He'll be going for a scaling build. They could still look to pressure early, of course, but I do think we'll have another long, drawn-out slugfest on our hands. I'd be very surprised if this game were to end before second Roche were to be taken.
Hey, with Ursa, that could still be at the 25-minute mark.
That's true.
Depending on how fast Gambit want to try and play the tempo, but they can play it slow. How many times have we seen them where the Deuce just has to defend that tier 1 tower in mid? The game can go on as long as they want to, because Pango is going to get stronger, the Ursa is going to get stronger. As long as they keep control of the Aegis, the Immortal, they'll always have the momentum.
It's still all about this tri-lane. Jarek's just continuing to pull. He has the stack now, so he actually just denied a full wave of experience to Gambit. And this is huge, because Lycan doesn't offer much in this tri-lane, but he's excellent, as we can see, at CSing under tower. So they're winning this tri-lane pretty hard, to be honest, under the circumstances. You would expect the Coddle, Ursa, and Earth Spirit lane to be able to do a bit more. But this kind of neuters the Earth Spirit. He's not a hero that wants to tri-lane. He'd like to get active. He'd like to roam onto the arc board and maybe help Pango up top. And once again, Seb is near complete free farm up top. Bottles both bounties. Looks like another free game for the Brewmaster.
Yeah, that's what you want to see if you're a fan of OG. You want to see Brewmaster having that momentum, actually being a proper influence in these fights.
Yeah. In this game, you don't have the Doom to worry about either.
Kick into Notel. Gonna trigger off the level 1 sprites, but that's nowhere near enough regeneration to tank through this. Even with the regen being provided by the Satyr, it's not enough. Yeah, that Satyr will go the way of Dahak. That's the second Enchantress creep he's killed in the space of a minute.
It's also the second kill that weird lane ward that we can see on our screen right there is provided for Gambit. Notail was witnessed walking to the right side, trying to place that unconventional lane ward at the top right of this Radiant safe lane. That's not going to happen when they watch you walk into those woods.
Well, OG, you can go towards the Earth Spirit. We've got the Satyr Banisher, which is actually, no, I thought Enchantress was going to control that one and start burning off a little bit of the aggression that Gambit can have on this bottom lane.
Oh man, ILTW is so close to being able to finish that HOD.
Look towards mid as well. You've got the trap on Ursa on bottom lane, but it's Pango initiating onto tops, and support comes in from Seb instantly into the spread. It's trying to keep Afo away from the tower, or you've already got the kill on the back line. So Thompson will fall, Inertia will go down his lane, and Seb gonna get this solo kill over on the Deucer, just sending the support of FNG up and towards the air, and maybe with G-Rex they can go for a little bit more. Seb, he's now out of time underneath the tower, not where he wants to be. Immersion's has joined the mid lane to work with Pango.
This is something Seb wasn't able to do last game.
Rolling Boulder in, as I said, just to join him and work with him. G-Rex wants create space, but no, they cut the tree down. He never got the jump.
Well played by Afterlife. That was a sick move. You can see the awareness. Second game against support Monkey King, you learn a couple of his tricks. Look much better against his movement, not falling prey to the tree dance like they were in the first game. And OG, again, they have this dominant laning advantage, but I like what Seb's doing. He's getting involved. The previous game, he just sat in the safe lane, farmed a Midas, felt like he didn't get a chance to use an early game ultimate until the point where Gambit had already equalized. Whereas now he gets involved, as does the Afterlife Pango. This new off-lane meta, right? You just farm, you get your level 6, and you immediately can get active just because your ultimate is so powerful up top.
Jump forward from G-Rex. He's going to work with Thompson to get the kill on Dahak. Seb is nearby, so claps to Valve, but it's a big boundless strike, hitting both Immersion and Dahak. Both will fall in OG. Successful rotations for them, and they'll try and turn this into tower pressure directly after.
Real close game so far. I think the key is that this game, Afterlife is the top net worth for Gambit, sure, but Dahak, 2,000, he was the guy that really set the tone for Gambit in the previous game. Now this Ursa, he's the guy that takes Roche. He's the follow-up for this Earth Spirit's reach initiation.
Hello, Pango. Slowed down, they're looking for that Centaur stomp, but Pango's a little bit too fast for them. Hayscroon from the bottle being triggered, and this leaves Notal in no man's land.
Yep.
Brought down.
Miscue from Notel there. He didn't recognize, he didn't click on Pango and realize he had a haste. Otherwise, he would have just saved his Dispel. Instead, it's used, and then immediately the haste gets popped.
That stops the push on top lane.
Yep.
Tower only took like 300 damage. It's not much to write home about, but more space created for the Lycan. The top 3 net worths currently belong to OG, even though Pango is making a contest for that 3rd position. But it's against the Arc Warden, who is just getting the money to finish off the hand of Midas. So it's a 9-minute Midas for a mid-Warden.
Look at this ward. This is the anti-Coddle ward. Because you know FNG is going to be looking to do exactly what he's doing here, hide in the trees and nuke again. This is so smart from OG.
They planned that one down about 2 minutes ago as they were looking to keep Nortel in behind the towers with the vision advantage, and it works, as you said, perfectly for Keeper of the Light.
Yep, that's just, that right there is why OG, whether or not they win this series, will be a threat to win tournaments, because they make that little move, that efficiency, that next, it's not even next level, it's just good Dota.
They could potentially go again. GRX is in position for a jump, but diving underneath tier 2 towers, 9.5 minutes in. Maybe not exactly what they're looking for. But good dewarding as well. Notal's going to get rid of another Dire Observer. That leaves only one on the map, and it's very defensive watching the northern side of the Dire jungle. Dahak going after Notal. Stick charge has already been burnt from Notal. He'll go inside the pit, try and juke it inside the fog of war. In, out, in, out. Back up the hill, and then actually Seb goes for a split. He's going for a solo kill on Afro, so Notal could die, but he's now got more friends. ILTW goes into dog form, wants a little bit more extra help. He'll give him some chakra. Medusa, that'll let him live about 1-2 seconds, a little bit longer, but death is certain.
This is a throwback to a meta long gone, the Lycan Brew. You pop Shapeshift, you pop Brewmaster ult, 18 seconds and 16 seconds respectively of absolute power in engagements. And Medusa, even with the chakra, he couldn't get his snake off, couldn't get his ult off. He's just gonna die. And that, I mean, he's gonna have ult skilled, actually.
TP's coming in. Seb's got himself a double damage rune. Jerax is ready for the jump down. They're waiting for the right time. Pango, he's got Rolling Thunder available. There's your jump down. They just start chain stunning into Pango. He jumps away, 19 HP. Jerax wants to finish the job, but there's your Rolling Thunder. Up, down, gets the chain stun, and Jerax, he needs to get himself out of this one. Immersion chasing him down. Mischief will not be able to save the Monkey King. Tier 1 tower is still being cleaned up by Sep as supports arriving from OG. No Hadouken flying out from the Sata, but Thompson, you know he wants to get more and more aggressive.
You can see the key for Gambit is the Afterlife Pango. He's the one that equalizes the engagements. Dahak needs time. He's top. He pushed that lane in, now he's running to jungle. He's just farming, trying to find that Midas, but he is significantly neutered in this game. He will not be online. Didn't he have Midas blink at like 15 minutes last game? This time it's the Arc Warden of Thompson, who looks to start scaling exponentially.
The funny thing is, Thompson didn't even crush, like, it didn't even feel like a crushing the mid lane. It's just like, this is just standard, we're moving forward. But OG, they just hit this nice power moment. It's like, hey, we've got a lot of fight in us. Seb, every time splits up, he said, like, they were working with it as well.
And it's funny because the...
Love how our production's having a little bit of fun at Notal's expense, but don't worry. Seb, want to see Pango. Perfect little hole inside the trees, gets back, finishes up the Maelstrom.
The entire OG lineup, the Monkey King, the Lycan ult, the Tempest up, like all of their spells last between like 13 and 20 seconds. That's the window OG have to dominate fights. If Gambit can utilize the Pango ult, the Deuce ult to just peel and re-engage, they should always have an easier time finding follow-up kills, because there's really no easy catch on OG. It's all about the ultimates until Thompson gets super mega large, at least.
Top tier 1 towers coming under pressure from OG. I also want to keep my eye on the Brewmaster, who actually just got silenced up. He'll go into the Brewmaster split, will he? He's got Arcane Rune, he can trigger that and get the split, but no way!
Yeah.
Pango just chain stunning the Brewmaster.
That's big. You can see OG, like, their timing, because he has a Blink Dagger on Seb. He did not go Midas like Dahak. He's looking to get involved. I think that's a really cool tweak that OG picked up from that last game. You look at the itemization from Thompson, he's got Diffusal queued up next. That's what I thought he might do. The Necro Book would have accelerated his farming more, but you know what Adusa does when two heroes that burn 50 mana per attack start beating into you? It doesn't even matter that Coddle's a factor. I mean, it's even more effective because you know he's going to get Chakra'd. You'll almost always have mana to burn on Dusa.
OG smoked underneath that Dire Observer. Well, the question is, does Dahak realize that they're coming down bottom lane, looking for him? Brewmaster, there's your blink forward. Hold him in position, slap him down. Dahak going to enrage, but Brewmaster instantly into the split. They have to send him up and towards the air, but they'll start with the stun to begin with, as Jirax just keeps building up the Jingu. Dahak, the stun and the burn from Immolation. Jirax is the one to already find the kill.
And importantly, Lycan is still just pushing and farming top. This is the OG that we saw yesterday, constantly pressuring the enemy side of the map.
Nortel, number 5.
Unfortunate Maelstrom proc, though. He would have lived, I believe, had that not occurred, unless Pango wanted to blow his ultimate. Might have chosen to do so anyway. Seb trying to get bottom rune, won't make it in time, but it's one stop anyway.
Yep, be a regen up there. Lycan actually triggering his ulti form. Look at you
they're
chase
in.
down Deucer, and Deucer, oh, there's your first stun. Into the stone, he's down. That damage from Rage, Afro. Ooh!
Yeah.
Dropping to 50, the ones who'll drop a little bit lower is over towards the east.
Yeah.
Pango and Immersion able to get out, and they get out of range of the Wukong's command, but with this Lycan form popped, like...
That's the thing. Conceptually, you look at the Gambit lineup and you think, oh, you've got pretty good heroes matchup-wise against OG. The concern is, can you deal with the sum of the parts? Will OG's army of minions just break your high ground before you even have a prayer? Like, their team fight's insane. The Coddle ult, the Pango ult, the Deuce ult. They can hold high ground for sure, but the concern is, much like the previous game yesterday we saw OG play Fnatic, it just takes that one fight. One fight, and OG can just suddenly kill 2 of your racks.
Radiant's middle tower.
I've seen Gambit behind at this point. Like, it was literally the last game, and they fought back. As you were mentioning, there's so many things that Gambit can do together, but it does feel like the difference between this game and the last game is OG's itemization and their timings. Look like everything just clicks a little bit better in this game.
More importantly, I again pointed to Hawk. He's been a non-factor in this game so far. 3-3, sure, but all that was in the laning phase. He has not been doing anything since that time.
Pango into that rolling boulder. Trying to actually hold him there. So rolling boulder and rolling thunder. A lot of rolls.
Nice job.
And Thompson will go down. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, Dahak. Oh, this just feels like oh, okay, maybe he's got the move. No, he doesn't have the movement speed. You're being chased by a Monkey King. Midas? What, efficiency?
The Midas, no! You gotta get the catapult! Oh, Grant's tearing his hair out, dismay.
Will-O-Wisp up on top, holding the Lycan in position, so Gambit should at least be able to get an extra rebuttal. You lose your Ursa on bottom, but 3 heroes from OG die within the span of a minute. Slowing down this momentum that is OG's.
Afterlife is everywhere right now. He's gonna bottle up a DD as well. 5-0-1, was top net worth for just a moment there.
The amazing team fight. That was the critical thing the panel was saying that Gambit have, and it seems like OG is giving them the fights they want for the moment. Like, they are still reaching that power spike. And here we go again in mid. Bango, quick shield crush, Nortel trying to slow him down. Tops is doing all the damage from the low ground, and Bango, he can jump.
Straight to
But
Roche.
he'll still go down as Thompson, who ends the 5-kill streak. A lot of extra injection of money into an Arc Ward, a dangerous thing.
Yep, you can just see ILTW is gonna take the Centaur, and yeah, they're gonna walk straight into the pit, acquire some vision first. Thompson's gonna shove out middle, but they needed to do this. They have to accelerate this game state. Perhaps take a fight instead, because Gambit knows they're gonna go in the pit, but with no Pango, I don't think you can contest. He has buyback, but we saw how hard Thompson was punished with that first Roche buyback last game. You don't want to hurt your progression that much for a fight that may or may not go your way.
We've seen this. Here comes your Illuminate spam, FNG. Sees inside the pit. Do they want to fight? Pango's up in 2 seconds time. They found their target. They're leaping forward. FNG caught out. The spark break is there. If it lands on the FNG, he should die as well. But the trade-off will still be Enchantress. And Pango into the rolling thunder. He's looking to go inside the pit, just on the edge of it. And the Wukong's command from Jirax going to help defend this. While you've got ES sent up and drop back down again, battling underneath the shrine. He should end up falling to this Lycan and Brewmaster combo. Pango's coming up to do something about it. But now he's surrounded by the 3 Brewlings. They'll start over on Dahak. Remember, Roshan is still up and kicking, and FNG and Afro are coming over. Thompson, if it wasn't for the Boundless Strike, they would have had that space, but it's actually being dragged back in. The Will-O-Wisp, the Blinding Light, guarantees 2 pulls of the Io, and Dahak is going in for Roshan. Thompson has no other choice but to buy it back. Lycan doesn't have much more to give. In fact, he's got nothing to give. No Wolves, no ulti form. They have to go in, and Seb's doing it inside the pit. Dire take Roshan and the Aegis, the Immortal. Ursa will pop. They come in for more. Thompson, the bubbles have been planted. Deucer is on the run out of here. Almost out of mana, but here comes Immersion. Cleans up Seb inside the pit. They still have the kill on Afro. 18 HP. They need to get in range. A triple kill for Thompson, making this buyback worth it. Immersion wants to get out too, but he ain't home and hosed. They move in further. Jirax, they're waiting. They're looking around him. Seb will take the last hit. So Gambit will at least deny the Aegis of the Immortal to OG and the kill on Roshan, but the cost, it felt real high.
It was, but a price they had to pay, Toby. You don't want to give away Aegis to this OG lineup. They can play with so much tempo and aggression if you give them an edge. This time, as you said, the Thompson buyback does pay off. Jerax will be punished down bottom, it appears. Juke's the stun.
He needs a jump. 1 second till Tree Dance off cooldown. He can't get up.
Look at the base, though. Do they have TPs down bottom? Ursa doesn't.
Ursa's
Pango
actually
does.
Ursa's on cooldown, so Pango can come back, but Ursa cannot. He has to keep that push going on bottom lane. He actually TP'd down to bottom lane to try and find that kill. So they're going to go in deep. They may realize this as Pango is so damn low. The Spark Wraith chasing him in. 120 HP. The Centaur setting up Thompson's clone. It's the only casualty so far for OG.
You can see that Mystic Snake Mana Steal because
Double TP's bottom. No,
fine.
No, it needed Thompson to be the first one in.
Seb's got to be careful with his mana pool, especially if he wants preemptively, because if he catches a Mystic Snake and claps, he's actually then out of mana to pop his Primal Split.
It's probably the reason why he's holding onto those 12-1 charges.
Indeed, he's going to go for a Midas next as well. So they're OG, it's the same kind of game they usually play where they're able to fight, they've taken engagements, we have a much more active game than the previous, but they're still investing in their economy. And you could see in that Roche engagement, Thompson does a ton of damage because of this diffuse ability. He's going to go 4-staff next as expected. They just want to kite the ults. If they can get away from the Pango and the Dusa ult and just then stand still and turn around with their army of summons, illusions, and creeps.
Yeah, what was the debate I think you're having on the panel yesterday? It's like, oh, how do we beat Nursa? Well, just buy a whole bunch of 4-staffs. Hey, why don't we just clone that ability as well? And if it's a Hurricane Pike, there's no way Ursa can stay on top.
Indeed. Not to mention the Brewmaster, constant area control. I like this play, OG. They've got a smoke ready, 2 wards, 4 sentries.
Second Diffusal Blade is up. As this one's over on the Monkey King, so Jirak switching from the Desolator into a Diffusal Blade. The changes between game 1, game 2.
And I like what he's doing. He's just farming. Thompson actually reveals that he's smoked. A weird play from OG. They're not in position. This is a tough one.
Blink. He goes instantly into the split. Emerge couldn't get the silence off in time, but Dusa does get the Stone Gaze off. So with the slow down, here comes your Rolling Thunder. Pango goes in. Damn, Enchantress takes so much damage. Has to go instantly into the sprites from the Will-O-Wisp. This has to die. They have to focus this one down. The Clone Storm from Thompson were doing the job, and OG fighting underneath their own Wukong's command and Gambit have no other choice but to go underneath the tier 3 towers. They're happy with that until they get a 3-man Boundless Strike. The life is there. The Grease from Pango giving them the sustain and the magnetize, causing real problems for OG. Lycan is trapped underneath the Dire tier 2 tower. He'll fall, and Arthward and Thompson will join him.
You can't. OG, like, this is strange to me. Like, that wasn't a good smoke in the first place. The Lycan was so far away from the engagement, as was Thompson. You're just blinking in, no clap, trying to get split off, but you don't get the lift up on the Stone Gaze, so Deuce is able to kite back. You can't just dive in through choke points against Gambit's lineup. They're gonna just drop all their ults and peel you. You saw ILTW, he's got no boots. When his ult fades, what do you expect your Lycan to do?
I don't know. The odds say things are even. The score says the same, 17-17 on the board. But experience and gold starts to swing the way of Gambit. Hitting 2,000 in the net worth, the experience is almost 8,000, and they want to keep it moving forward. As Dahak chasing after Jirax, he'll turn to a tree for a second. ILTW, once again, the Lycan's just watching this, wondering what he can do. He can start face hitting it because Jirax got the double stun. FNG's TP out, it will be in time. But okay, maybe Dahak thought he was being a real hero again.
Interesting from Dahak. It gives OG a sign of life, some breathing room.
And they instantly want to try and push with it. Like they send the Necros to bottom lane. They're gonna move him off. Maybe they're gonna start hunting for wards, hunting for the vision of Gambit.
Yeah, there's gonna be a butterfly up on the Dusa in a few moments, though. That's the big item. You look at the lineup of OG. How do you actually deal damage through evasion right now? You're gonna have 35% less physical damage. Nobody's anywhere near the time for MKB.
Up towards Pango. Jirax jumping in forward once again. They want to keep this Pango slowed. So difficult to get into the Rolling Thunder. Diffuser bladed up. Being mana drained. Just killed off. Stunned off. And once again, OG find themselves a pickoff, and Gambit are fighting with 4 players on the map for the last minute and a half.
Yep. Their strength is their team fight. As individual rotate, like they just don't have the power to stand in these lanes. OG moving around the map more efficiently, and they've killed the big team fight threat of Gambit, the offensive one at the very least. And you can see, I think Jerax is going to continue to drop the Monkey King ult as the Will-O-the-Wisp goes down. It's something I think more teams are going to look to do. Use your own big area control to negate the effect of the Ignis Fatus.
Wow, Seb, that's aggressive. That's really aggressive. I know Jirax is rotating down to the bottom lane, but that's not what he wants to have. In fact, you look towards the mid lane. ILTW trying to run forward, able to get the shapeshift off and then run up the hill away from the Magnetize. Don't know if he's got enough life to survive through this. He's going to move further towards the north, away from the TP players onto the Shrine, because that's where Pango is heading. Same with the ES, the Roll Boys looking for Thompson. He's under the cover of an Invis at the moment. The Will-O-Wisp pulls him back in, but they caught out both Jirax as well as Thompson. Both will end up falling. The Thompson clones causing some problems behind the lines. But Gambit, now it's their turn to get the better trade-off.
Yeah, the Ursa BKB and the insane aggression from Immersion, who, by the way, has 2,400 health with that double bracer one bit booster. They have no fear, and there's nothing OG can do to peel these heroes. It's one of the dangers of picking Lycan into Ursa as well, because there's really no point you ever threaten this hero if he chooses to just pop an overpower and hit you in the mouth. And the window for OG to win engagements is very short. It's about 15, 16 seconds. When their big ults fade, they've got nothing. And Gambit, they've got enough of their own to just shut down OG's aggression. There's nothing you can do as the side of OG unless you catch them sleeping.
Maybe you just slow these things down and start the split push. This is what Arc Warden's fantastic at. This is what a maneuverable Monkey King is capable of doing as well. He's got the tree dance vision, just needs the cast range.
I would agree. It makes this Lycan's just in an awkward spot. You can see he's only level 13, actually, which is below every single hero on Gambit's side. In fact, gold and net worth seem even, but check out the experience differential. Gambit is way ahead in levels. That is significant, mostly in part to the obviously talents existing in the game, but Deuce, it doesn't get any easier to take down once he hits level 20. Split shot eventually uses modifiers. This game doesn't get easier for OG.
Well, Gambit are looking to fight. They have a fresh Blink Dagger on the Ursa, and they really want to use it, but the smoke's only got another 3 seconds left, and they haven't found a target. Thompson, he's actually moving himself in towards the mid lane. It's not a clone.
ODD, Roche spawning in 30 seconds.
Big contest.
This could be this. They have the wolf creep as well. Necro's gonna get popped, and they're gonna smoke it. Yep.
They're far enough away from any dire observer wards, so Gambit didn't see this. OG, they're actually already moving towards the top lane. Dire is scanning up, and it does ping positive because No-Tail's in range. Lycan form already being burnt, looking towards the Keeper of the Light, trying to push him back. They want him down, but No-Tail initiated on by Dahak, but the stun from Jirax will create more space. Dahak has BKB and get away, but Jirax, it's a great word command underneath the Will-O-Wisp, which will not even get a secondary pulse out. Pango is now isolated. He's going to go in to the Rolling Thunder and try and get away from this one, but Jirax, he's ticking down. Will they get rid of it? Okay, he'll actually die for the Wukong command will disappear, but Medusa will do the job and get rid of it anyway. While Immersion in deep. Seb with the Brewlings trying to control him, but they just roll out. It's a 2-for-0 trade-off. This isn't what OG were looking for, especially as Roshan's just spawning up. Seb able to blink away. Pango trying to stay on his tail. But it's a full retreat for the moment. Into Roshan for Gambit. And OG, all they can do is try and split push.
You see, Afro Ninja is no longer even a target. They recognize he's got a butterfly. He's uncontested in these fights. Just by auto-attacking, forces Thompson to retreat. I feel like ILTW's got to be more conservative with his ult, or really just a different hero. Lycan feels like it has no place in this game.
I thought for a moment we would see a denial of the Aegis as one of the old No-Tail kind of things to do with his Lycan.
It's such a hard game. Like I really just don't know how ILTW can get things done. His ult lasts 18 seconds. When you use it to get yourself, to use it as a vehicle just to enter the fight, you have like 10 seconds left to actually deal damage, and he tanked a blinding light right at the start. There's so much control on the side of Gambit to prevent damage from both Lycan and all of his creeps. It's Thompson's gonna have to do the heavy lifting, but he's falling behind. I think OG, like you said, they've got to switch their game style up. Just start split pushing. Bots, next queued up item. Feels like they might agree.
Yeah, he really needs that. With the side lane pressure, at least when these engagements happen, they'll get more information because they'll see Gambit have to fall back to defend the lanes. Now, the counter push from Gambit is still damn good. Like Pango as well as Coddle, they can take care of their solo, not to even mention the Deucer.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
OG doing everything they can. Stay involved. I like the itemization from Jerax. He's going to be going for the Halberd next. Very good item against Dusa. He's got to try and reduce the damage now to the best of your ability.
Especially as Deuce just finished a BKB. Coming on the courier now for her. They look towards middle lane, Gambit. With the Aegis the Immortal, they want to try and get something out of this. That's why Lycan is still pushing in the top lane. Try and get Gambit to look behind themselves. Necrobooks have already been burnt as well. One opening, Thompson, Will-O-Wisp is down, Thompson kicked further to the side, then Blinding Light, they're just tossing around like a rag doll, and you'll see Thompson just explode under the burning light.
That was a big spell used. ILTW doing his job now. Just plant Lycan as close to the enemy structures as you can.
He's forced to TP
yep.
back.
Yep.
Seb's nearby just in case someone does want to come forward and fight, and it'll be the Ursa to do it.
And this is the appropriate way to spot your heroes on the map as well. Let Jerix play the dead lane. If he goes down there, it's in the most useless corner of the map for Gambit. Plant Lycan and Brew top, because as you said, Brewmaster provides that peel just in case ILTW doesn't get gone on, and the Lycan has to be on enemy side to threaten buildings, because you're just unable to fight, and he might be caught, but gets the ult off in time.
Has to go into the ultimate and just run away. No other choice. He knew he was underneath the Dire Observer, would have saw so much. Seb's also going to be TPing out the top. Realizing he was under attack, and Gambit will take the tier 1 tower while you're in the neighborhood. No backdoor regeneration, but fortification will delay things.
Man, this Pangolier, man. This is another hero that feels undervalued. Saw that in both tournaments ongoing at the moment. Because you have that easy, cheap farming mechanic where you just buy a Maelstrom, and now you're going to scale for the rest of the game, no problem. And you just then itemize to tank. He's got Greaves, he'll have Crimson Guard in a second.
Jirax, do you want to jump in? He's going to go for a Wukong command. Looking for the slap down onto Pango. He'll go into the trees, and then a quick swashbuckle into the trees away. It's out of range of the Wukong. But this is what you're looking for from Jirax, right? Keep the pressure up.
Yep. You got to at least try.
That should be fine. Jukes perfectly, even though no perfect vision.
It's all about sleight of hand now. Try and pull Gambit to corners of the map so that you can try and accelerate in the others, but they're just starting to march down lanes. Heard people call Gambit OG's kryptonite, and so far it looks like that might be the case.
And Seb really wants to have a crack at Pango. Pango is very hard to kill off with the plus 20 strength, 20 talent. It's 20-20 Pango going after him. No support going to arrive instead. Thompson's dragging the creep wave. I actually kind of love what he's doing around the bottom rune area where he's pulled the wave off because this fight's lasted so long on bottom lane. Jirax has actually returned. He's looking for the slapdown, cancelling off Pango's Rolling Thunder. Now he'll get it off. Immersion will also arrive looking for his own silence onto the Brew, onto the Monkey King. Lycan's too far away. Wolf Form now going to come off cooldown, but he will not commit it. And letting Jirax being that pain in the butt once again that OG is so damn good at. More and more space gets created.
The concern is that, especially with the Aegis, Ninja has no fear. He can play this game completely alone, and he's just marching through lanes, through jungle, farming everything. There's no space for Thompson to do much more than Midas.
Jump up. Perfect Boundless Strike, cancelling the rolling boulder route from Earth Spirit, and Seb, under the cover of BKB, wants to fight first and then go into the Brewmaster split, which he has to do as the Hawk TP's out, but... Just enough life.
Yeah.
He had cheese as well sitting in his inventory, but you can't use that while he's TPing.
You gotta be cautious as Gambit heroes, especially when you're alone. There's so much damage amplification if OG get all their spells used in conjunction. The Howl, 50 attack speed, the Arc Warden bubble, more attack speed, the Wolf Creep, the Vlads.
Nortel, how did you get so many friends? He's got himself 2.5 waves on this top lane.
Yeah. And you can see though, you gotta respect OG, right? They recognized that what they were trying wasn't working, and they're not insane, so they're not gonna continue it. The game has become now, I guess just a competition between shepherds.
What? How many sheep can you hold?
No.
Well, let's not make that. We'll start falling asleep if we start counting sheep.
And Gambit, yes, they've had map control, talking about how much Ninja has been farming, but that whole age is surpassed, and their advantage only went up 1,000 gold. So an admirable job done by OG just to stay in this game.
Great Observer Sentry in from Gambit. They put down the Will-O-Wisp. Nortal being pulled back in, so two heroes once again being picked off with this combination of Gambit.
I gotta stop talking about OG doing good things. They get punished every time.
Yeah, shush.
Now, the creep waves, though, that's the thing. Thompson can just keep summoning his clone to top. Jarex continues to play bottom. You gotta be real careful, though, Jarex.
Oh, I love that. He jumps down. The tree he was on got destroyed by this rolling thunder Pango, and then he just jumps up onto another side, hid inside the perfect fog of war, and now moves down to bottom lane to do the counter push. It's like, yeah, guys, I'm still here. Don't forget me.
Reminiscent of TI7. Liquid just playing trees the entire game until eventually they hit that critical point where they were strong enough to take engagements.
He can move so far as well with the double talents, the tree, plus 600 cast range.
He has the Tree Dance Vision AoE increase as well at that level 10 talent.
So difficult to catch Jirax out, but it could also be that information OG need before going into fights. And he knows he's safe to do this. Goodbye, Creep Wave. Back up to farming, and he's already got the BKB sitting in his stash, which he'll now TP back to pick up. So more sustain for Jirax when it comes to these engagements.
Huh. And
oh, no tail. He
can't play Dota against Ursa, man.
This is the second time he's come out. Like, he threw down the sentry ward, saw the opposite sentry, tried to run away. Comes out this time, throws down the sentry ward, and has to run away. FNG will die on the top lane.
Oh,
3 hits from Seb. They hit so hard, so fast. Wow, they can't go in. There's the wraparound, immersion, rolling boulder forward. He's able to actually know the split. Seb gets stopped so quickly. Immersion's already going to go down. FNG's on the sideline for the moment. He does not have buyback available.
That's all you can get, though, as OG. Their movement's great. You can see, though, like, Gambit, you have no business running in alone. Just take the team fights. As soon as Coddle dies, just relax.
They're following the Earth Ruling. Monkey's wondering if they're going to start fighting. He's baiting out the Wukong. I say baiting. Yeah, testing out the Wukong.
The thing, OG, like, look at where the waves are. They're pushing every single lane to the enemy side of the river. There's not much you can do about it as the side of Gambit. They're just being led by the hand all across the map. And now up top, Pango's in a bit of trouble if you have some sort of stun lock.
They're going to go for the Wukong. Here's your first one with a Boundless Strike. Hold him, hold him, hold him. Pango, they didn't hold him.
I think someone needs to buy an Atos because you just don't have enough control. The BKBs will get lower on both the Ursa and the Medusa as this game continues. You actually don't have one on the Pango. Of course, you can't cleanse it.
You'll get the Bloodthorn. You'll get the Bloodthorn on the Arc Warden, so that's something they can work with. Dahak has to BKB. I don't think he actually realizes he's currently fighting a clone army, and Dahak will go down. Thompson just wrecks him with the real one.
OG, like this, I want to, like, they're playing it fantastic, don't get me wrong, but Gambit's got to get their shit together, because right now, they're winning every time they are more than 3 or 4 heroes taking an engagement. They're still the stronger team around the map, but this is that advantage. When you have a team like OG's, if you can get the creep waves onto the enemy side of the map, it's that point Cap talked about where you've made the map smaller for your enemies, but bigger for yourself. It's now so much easier and more efficient to cut across creep waves, while the enemy side have to just kind of struggle with what corner they've got. It's really well done. I cannot believe OG has extended the game to the point now, even though it's a 10K gold lead, it's equalized in a sense. If you look at the XP specifically, yeah, No Tail is in the dumps, only level 12, but it's turning back around, and that's the key.
23,000 experience was their height. We look towards Roshan as now it is started up. OG, they want to get this Aegis Immortal. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Lycan initiated on by Pango and ES. Brewmaster jumps in, he's got split available, but the issue is still ILTW. He's dying too quickly, but is Immersion going to be the only trade-off? He's rolling boulders up, he may not be a trade at all. The Spark Wraith will follow him, and so will No Time, but they don't have any level of damage output. In fact, rolling boulder, Immersion wants to go back into this one, but he's instantly slammed down by Jirax. The Will-O-Wisp is good, and Dahak wants to fight. BKB burn, putting that bash in at work. Thompson dying way too quickly. Couldn't stay alive. It's close to doing any kind of real work for the backlines as well. So ILTW buys back, triggers Lycan form. But once again, it's a transportation material into the fight, which doesn't even happen.
It's time after time, Toby. It's not just a song. It's the story of this wolf. There's nothing he can do to get to the fight, and he's forced to burn that big CD. Buyback as well, man. OG, they fought tooth and nail to get to this position, and it looks like they're going to just have to cede this critical third Roshan to Gambit without even a fight.
Why does it feel like we just went, it's like, okay, OG, our split push tactic is working really, really well. What are we going to do? We're going to go to a focal point in the form of Roshan, which is they're going to enable Gambit to have the fight that they were always looking for without a heavy trade off. The side lanes, they weren't pushing hard. Jirax, as well as the Lycan, that's what they're doing. They're trying to find a trade-off, but it's already done. This is Aegis, Refresher, Cheese. All of it in. They even put the Aegis Immortal onto the Deucer.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know if I agree with that either. Like, Cheese is gold for her.
Not to mention, now you have a backpacked MKB. If your Medusa is dying with a BKB that's 8 seconds and Butterfly against 0 MKBs, like, you've done something wrong. I think you give that to your Ursa so that he can play aggressive.
He wants Courier. That tree is a dangerous tree. He'll BKB and needs to get the hell out of here, but the Hawk's got way too much damage. Jirax? No, he doesn't get enough time to get up. The Hawk will get the last Fury swipe in. Cheeky.
He forces the teleports, though. It's all about extending the game. Probably not worth, but Jirax agrees. Like, you know, I'll die, but look at where my waves are. Gambit never really going to be in a position to threaten my base so long as when I go down, I'm in the far reaches of the enemy base.
Yep. The more and more space that he continues to create for the Arc Warden to go to work, like, split push galore, and maybe you get something. Like, if you got a Courier Snipe, that's great. Rune control, the kickback, Immersion will be able to claim that bounty. Rune Thompson wants to fight for this one. That was the real Thompson as well. They're pulling Immersion in. He'll go into the bubble, but they got to get rid of that Will-O-Wisp. Again, OG stuck underneath. The No-Tail will be able to get rid of it. Thompson loses his clone, and maybe, oh, the rolling boulder. Seb blocked it perfectly. ILTW runs forward. He'll grab himself a double down room, and Immersion, the kickback. No, he doesn't rolling boulder up the hill. They'll try and push him up with a force up. Immersion's still alive through all of this, and now he rolling boulders up. Seb, he thought himself had a kill, dead to rights. They don't want to kill the Earth Ruling off. No, he would have jumped back to that and not to the Storm Ruling.
It's all just time wasting, though, Toby.
It really is.
OG, they can't win fights. Again, just this Lycan, man, he feels so ineffective. He's really just here to kill buildings.
Keeper of the Light, Will-O-Wisp goes down once again, and maybe, oh, the kick flies out. Brewmaster needs a little bit of extra space, but they're holding him down. A minute and 15 seconds, Seb is on the sideline. Lycan is pushing the bottom lane. He can't TP back. It's 32 seconds on cooldown for the moment, so ILTW will not be involved in this fight. Thompson has to hard defend.
There's a tome in the base. I think that's for Thompson. He's closing in on level 25. And the high ground defense from OG is nice. You've got the spam of the Ench and the Arc Warden.
But they're not staying close enough for it. They're letting the tier 3 tower fall. That bottom lane pressure isn't coming anywhere near far enough. So they put the shield down far, and No-Tail just walks into death. He'll die quickly. Afro does bring himself a little bit close. Remember, he's got the Aegis Immortal. Jirax, the Balance Strike will not connect on the Deucer. So no follow-up stun for him, and now Dahak just jumps in, looking to kill off the Monkey King. He can't do it, however. He tried with that BKB. It's a very low duration. Afro, he's trying to commit, and it's a dive back for No-Tail. Thompson underneath the tower as well. He's in trouble, losing his life so quickly. Buybacks are up, but Afro, he's got himself a triple bloody kill. The pressure in towards mid. ILTW, he's battling backdoor regeneration. The Keeper lights, the only one who has to jump back for defense, and Jirax looking for the stuns, looking for the control. Back down the mid lane into a Wukong's command. They've got the control on the Pango. He's losing his mana, but they're going to get outside the Wukong's thanks to the fact that Afro still has Stonegaze available. Thompson, the clone, is being stuck for the moment. They're thinking about turning back in again, and it's actually Seb out too far, dead for 2 minutes. The opening, the door, Gambit have just swung it open and ripped it off his hinges. They can go for even more. Down towards Lycan, dropping the treads. Aegis Immortal is still there. You know Deucer wants to keep fighting. ILTW, he can't die here. They push him back in. Thompson saving his core's life. But Afro, he's beating into the tier 4 towers. Gambit want to end this now.
You can see CW just recognizes I can't do anything in this game, man. He might get flagged for his performance, but I don't think he did anything wrong.
Let's see if they can hold the defense. There's your stun. Dahak with a clap, combining with a Will-O-Wisp. That may even be the game without Thompson for 2 minutes time. I don't think OG can repel Gambit from taking the final GG condition. No-Tail, man, how many times did he die under Will-O-Wisp again? Down he goes. And this is Gambit beating into the Radiant Ancient. They wanted the rematch against Team Secret, and they got it. A 2-0 victory over OG in the lower bracket final of ESL One Katowice.
very well played game. They got ahead. Once again, that first Roche fight just changes the direction of this game. Gambit have a lead, a couple mistakes, but they kept it calm. It seems to be just the regular order of business for this squad, but it seems like Secret might punish him a bit harder for these miscues. They bring it back together. Credit to FNG. Keeping his team composed.
Fantastic draft, sticking with what you came here to do. At the same time, you can give the same kind of props to OG. You saw this, like, you know what, we still did good. OG, who would have thought, 3rd position at this tournament? That in itself is a step forward.
Indeed, and I love that even with their backs against the wall, the OG, you love them because they make you beat them, okay? They might only had a 3 to 5% chance to win this game, but any sort of scraps they could find, they were trying to collect. Credit to Gambit, well played OG, and really just a treat to watch.
Playing to their strengths. Gambit, they need to keep doing that if they want to try and contest Team Secret. They have looked absolutely amazing throughout this competition. And the last time they met up, well, it was a 2-0 in favor of Team Secret Gambit. I'm interested to see with the momentum from this game. Like, this is a good start. Yes, OG test them on some fronts, but their plans worked. I don't think Gambit will be sitting there saying, hey, we're feeling very stressed. We don't see a way back into this game. There was always a very strong way into the game.
It's true. I just want to see how they draft, but we'll see that later.
Yeah, that we will. And of course, now we get to have a nice chat with the captain, whose hair I miss, but I still love his drafts, FNG.
Yeah, thank you very much, Toby and Kyle. Congratulations, first of all, FNG. What a performance, what a great series.
I mean, we just played our game. I think OG had some idea for sure because they were playing way better, especially game 1. We weren't ready for this monkey king come to double melee lane. We were like super crushed. I mean, they played great, but we played better.
You did indeed. That's why you make it to the grand finals. I do want to ask you, your team is fairly new for playing on this stage, at least. I mean, you yourself, of course, not, but how do you keep your team cool? Because I know you can do it in online games. How was this any different for you?
Cool?
Cool, calm, collected?
I mean, we're just playing our heroes. I cannot say that we're doing something like specific or whatever. We just playing strats that we practiced before, so we don't like afraid of anything.
Does the crowd give you some extra energy?
Of course.
There you go, there you go. Now you're going up against Secret again. You've already played them actually 4 times this tournament. You learned a lot, I would imagine. What did you learn?
I mean, we for sure need to do some basic stuff better than we did in previous games because it's starting from the drafts, right? We are picking wrong heroes, we are staying lanes bad, and they just snowball us. So if we do at least on lanes better, I hope we will play some good game.
I hope so too. I'm looking forward to see you guys play in the grand finals. You're going to have a little bit of a break. Before that, anything specific that you're going to do while waiting?
No, just chill.
Just chill, okay. That's what we're going to do as well. But first, we're going to go back to the panel.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, congratulations to FNG and to Gambit Esports. They make their first LAN final here at ESL One in the history of ESL One, the first time they're in the final. And they're going up against Team Secret, who are searching for their 3rd ESL One title to tie them with Virtus Pro. So plenty of history to be made a little bit later on this afternoon in the grand final. But first, let's recap that lower bracket final. A great performance by Gambit. They stretched their run to against OG to 9-0. What a terrific performance, gents. I mean, when you say it like that, you're just like, okay, the first few, they're online. The next 2, well, ILTW's kind of new, okay, so that's fine. But then the 2 they won in the group stage, you kind of go, whoa, they've beaten pretty much hands down, and now they've done it again. So now that's definitely kryptonite.
I mean, who was it, 3 doors down? I mean, cue the track, baby, because that was absolutely insane.
I could high-five you right now.
That doesn't happen often, these two doing that, by the way.
One for the old boys there with the 3 doors down track. I like that.
Now, look, the big difference between this game and game 1 was Afterlife. Man, he just went absolutely off. That was a magnificent Pango game. We talked about it during the draft. We were all impressed with that 5th pick. But the secret game plan, which OG went back to in game 1, was to really take him out of that. And that's what I'm going to be looking at in that grand final series, whether they're going to be able to show the kind of laning stage potential for Afterlife's pick. But you could just feel the difference from start to finish. Once again, though, the first Roche fight, huge struggle for OG.
It was pretty much everything. Their lineup is based on timing. They ideally want to be taking Brax with that first Aegis, with that with the Lycan, with the Book 3. You go high ground, you pretty much closed the game around that 25 to 30 minute mark. Once it starts getting later, sure, you have some slight contingency because you have this monkey, you have the Monkey King who's kind of scaling, Brewmaster's okay, and your Arc Warden who's getting super farmed. But Lycan's game ends. It gets super difficult to play that hero as the game progresses past that 25, 30 minute mark. And yeah, I'm so glad, but Afterlife ended what, 11, 2, and 13 that game, 34,000 hero damage, just displayed the power of Pango and how insane of an ability Lucky Shot is. Just these disarms on the whole, all the books. Every time Lycan was running in, I saw in the team fights, everything just got disarmed. Yeah, it was super well played by him.
It's pretty good.
It's not bad. He's trying not to get any nerfs right now, by the way. That's why. I mean, you know, Cappy's been a little bit reserved on the whole. No nerfs, man.
Listen,
no
at the end of the day, the hero was last pick, so can it really be that good?
Oh,
you know? Really good heroes are first picked or banned, you know?
Ice Frog needs to nerf Pango, is what I think I got from Cap there. Was that what you got? Everyone else get that?
He needs to nerf Chen and Amber first, but yeah, Pango.
Yeah, focus on those other guys, please.
I'm trying to help you out here, Cap.
I really like the fact that he went, like, most of the time I've really hard on like the level 15 talent. I feel like the extra duration is best, but I actually think this game, with the combination of like all the AoE that they're dealing with in Necro books and what Lycan brings, I think the extra shield crash cooldown was great for him. And then you look at all the other AoE that they have between, you know, Swashbuckle, between the Medusa and the Split Shot, the Coddle Blast that are coming in as well. You add that in with the superior disables that they have, and teamfights were just really difficult for OG, despite the fact that they won laning phase.
Are you frustrated at all that the stuns were missing on the OG side? I mean, what did they have to stop?
Second game in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot on the brew in that game, folks.
Yeah, I was mentioning in the green room, I was just like, it makes their team fight so difficult because as soon as Brew Split's starting to wear off, their catch is super limited. They're on this like their fight in the OG fight is really on this like 20-second window. It's like Brew Split's on, Shapeshift's on. If we don't kill everything during this, we are absolutely screwed. And what we see Gambit do in actually both of their games, they have 3 incredibly tanky cores. Right? They had the Ursa, Dusa, and the Pangolier who itemized to be even tankier. And in the last game, they had Doom, Viper, and Ursa again. So 3 tanky cores to absorb all that pressure from the limited like time window that OG has during the fights.
Yeah, I always have that thing that Will used to say. I don't know if he said it to you much recently, but he always used to say, when you draft, you need damage, push, stun.
Yeah, there's like a lot of checklists to go through in Dota.
And they didn't have everything, did they, OG, in those drafts?
Yeah, OG seems to sacrifice control for just better. I mean, I was a little bit surprised that OG won the lanes so hard as that they did, but it does seem to be a trend that they sacrifice that for superior lanes.
Yeah, that's all right. We're going to get more from all 3 of you in just a moment, but Purge is ready, so let's find out what he's got for us from Game 2.
The Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel Power Plays.
Yep, once again, OG did focus on their laning stage. They opened with an Enchantress, the Monkey King. They had that variable pick. They ended up keeping him in support. But importantly, this game, they also had push. That was something they didn't have last game. They couldn't take towers, for example. And the final pick that they had was Arc Warden. They took a very long time to decide on that hero. And it's pretty good because it does help you siege, helps you defend. You can get a bunch of summons and things like that, so it helps you go for high ground towers. So basically what ended up happening was they got this laning advantage from their superior laning heroes. They ended up having tower push because of their summons, and they had heroes like Monkey King to give vision to spot the grabs that they needed to get. And they weren't always successful doing this, but it was kind of reminiscent of some of their other matches where they're doing stuff in the back lane, but in the meantime, people are hitting towers and they're getting gold because of it and getting map control. So what that opens up is a period of time where they take the tier 1s, and then they just kind of bounce between the tier 2 mid and the tier 2 in the safe lane. But what's important, I think, is if you take a look at the minimap, very consistently what Gambit was doing to play against this was having heavy amounts of observer wards in their jungle, in the spots between the 2 places that OG is likely to jump. And they did this because then it's going to help them spot where their movements are, and they're going to get pickoffs, and they're going to be able to dodge ganks themselves, for example. Some of which end up giving them good team fight openings. There's a lot of times where they were looking for these kills. They spotted the smoke from OG, which prevented them from getting a grab. So it became this like game of cat and mouse. The Hawk was behind where he was in the previous game. He didn't have a blink dagger at this 15-minute mark like he did last game. So it becomes this cat and mouse game where can they catch OG or not? And in fact, in this time period where they did defend ganks, they're able to use their high mobility heroes. The Pango was super valuable here, as was the Earth Spirit, because that hero is not strong against dive type stuff. So even though they could do a lot of swinging around, it ultimately got them that same point as last game. They got to a Roche fight where they didn't have that much gold advantage, where they didn't have that much catch, and they never really were super successful getting these towers because there was a Caudle on the other side. And even though Caudle didn't have a great KDA, he was slowing down Roche pushes, he was slowing down regular pushes in assistance with the Pango, and it just made the game a little bit too hard for OG to take an advantage.
Thank you very much, Purge. Another great breakdown from the main man at the weathers board. Gents, let's wrap up on this. OG done and dusted, Alan. Is third a better result than you expected from them, and a better result than they perhaps expected from?
I think if you had told OG that this was going to be the result coming into this event, that they'd be pretty happy that they managed to take a game off Secret in the opening set, that they managed to clearly look stronger and address some of the deficiencies that we'd been talking about all season long for them as the tournament went on. I think they have to be happy with that, but man, this last series it's such a momentum killer for them because it felt like they were ready to stake their claim among those Tier 1 squads again, and it's completely, once again, against the same opponent falling apart.
Sure. But it does mean, Fog, that they have risen clearly to the Tier 2 level now. And beating Fnatic is a big statement. That's a team that have finished 5th, 6th at the last 2 majors. So it's put them in that kind of ballpark, isn't it?
I mean, they didn't just beat Fnatic. They kind
they
of like destroyed them. And now it's also pretty good too, because in a week or so, they go to another tournament. They go to the minor. So they really need this kind of momentum to be building up for them. And yeah, they're definitely learning. They definitely look to be, experimenting a little bit more, maybe getting ITW, a couple new heroes.
Yeah. Yeah, widen the pool. I think that was what FNG said in the interview, wasn't it? We've got a style. We know how we want to play. We understand the patch. We understand the meta. We just need a wider pool now.
Yeah, I think OG has the interesting ideas that they've already have that kind of wide hero pool, and it's only going to get wider over time. I think they're the favorite for the minor. Gambit, meanwhile, just very strong execution, continued to be the best at their style, and hopefully they're able to solve the problems that they have against Secret.
Yeah, I guess the only worry we've all got, and I know it's a collective thing that we've all spoken about, is if it was OG Secret, you fancy OG might match up slightly better against them in terms of giving them a better final. Gambit have lost all of their last 4, so are we wrong in assuming that this could just be a clean sweep, or do we think Gambit will find something in this grand final?
I wouldn't use the word wrong because, look, the fact is the way that Secret are playing right now, they're going to make a lot of teams look really bad. I mean, I'm not convinced if you put EG on that stage against Secret right now that they don't 3-0 anyway. The thing is, Gambit did start to address some of these problems that Secret really exposed. They got Afterlife off to the good start. You felt the impact of immersion from a much earlier phase in this game. They got those tanky heroes and prevented OG from securing a mobility advantage where they couldn't move around freely in these fights. These are the kinds of adjustments that you're going to need to make against the Secret that beat you yesterday anyway. They showed that they're at least heading in that direction.
I'm concerned still, though, because the thing is that they did fix a little of the things, right? But they still lost their laning phase to OG in both games. And Secret, FNG literally said it himself. If we lose our lanes versus Secret, we're probably pretty screwed.
The only hope, I think, is really the fact they lost against Secret. It was kind of similar to the way that OG lost to Gambit, is that Gambit played kind of the same stuff 2 times in a row, and they beat OG that way in their first meeting. Against Secret, Gambit drafted the same kind of stuff 2 times in a row. They lost against Secret, and FNG said, they drafted the wrong heroes. So it makes me, I guess, a little bit more hopeful for the finals.
At least they've identified whether
it's like we tried one thing, that didn't work. We tried another thing, maybe that third time's the charm, right?
Third
Paul?
time's the charm,
right?
Yeah, or 9th time, or whatever it is. OG still searching for a win over Gambit, and they'll have to wait a little long before that one becomes true. It's Gambit versus Team Secret in our grand final. We're headed to an extended break right now. Don't forget, though, plenty still to come. The Esports Hall of Fame still to come. And if you've got questions, please do @ me on Twitter, and we'll try and get them on the show a little later on. Take care.
Now the Hawk just jumps in, looking to kill off the Monkey King. He can't do it, however. He tried, but that BKB is a very low duration. Amber, he's trying to commit, and it's a dive back, but no tail. Thompson underneath the tower as well. He's in trouble, losing his life so quickly. Buybacks are up, but Amber, he's got himself a triple bloody kill. The pressure in towards mid. ILTW, he's battling backdoor regeneration. The keeper lies, the only one who has to jump back for defense. And Durax looking for the stuns, looking for the control. Back down the mid lane into a Wukong's command. They've got the control on the Pango. He's losing his mana, but they're going to get outside the Wukong's thanks to the fact that Amber still had Stonegaze available. Thompson, the clone, is being stuck for the moment. They're thinking about turning back in again, and it's actually Seb out too far. Dead for 2 minutes. The opening, the door. Gambit have just swung it open and ripped it up.
This arena is about ready to explode. Welcome to ESL One. Let's get this started. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go!
Grabbing up the epicenter, comes in. Oh, it's a big one as well. Look at this dummy, the big